guys, Akimbo Chris back out here on the range again today with Crusader Armory TV. And today, guys, we're talking about a new firearm from Ruger, which is the Ruger RXM. Guys, this is a new firearm from Ruger that Ruger just released that is essentially a Glock 19 clone. And today, guys, we're going to be really doing our first impressions on the gun. My cameraman, he actually picked this up last week, so he did put a few rounds to it just to be completely transparent with you guys. But today I'm going to be testing it and giving you guys kind of my first impressions and review on the gun. So this is a Ruger RXM, and what RXM means is Ruger X Magpul. So this is a collaboration from Ruger and Magpul. Magpul makes the frame and the grip, and Ruger basically develops the gun and sells it, right? And they make the slide and everything. This has a Magpul grip on it, and it has a Ruger manufactured slide on it, but it's essentially a Glock 19 clone. So, you know, the Gen 3 patent ran out a few years ago, so we're starting to see a lot of these Gen 3 clones on the market, and I'm super excited for it, because if you guys know, the Glock is just a proven platform, right? And with these using the same designs, it's putting a lot of cheaper guns out there that are reliable and have that same tested platform that the Glock 19 Gen 3 runs on. What I also like to see is these manufacturers are adding a lot of different features and things over a standard Gen 3 Glock 19. So for example, just going over this gun real quick, and we'll show you what's like in the box and what it comes with in just a second, but just going over the gun real quick and going over the aesthetics, I mean, this gun looks really, really good. You can get these right now for under $400. I believe my cameraman paid $390 for it, brand new, and you get a lot for $390. I would even argue, and calm down Glock fans out there, I like Glock too, but this may be a better value than a Glock 19, at least a Gen 3, I would say, you know, on the used market, because you can get these for under $400 and they come with some really solid features. I will say, just out of the box, you know, it definitely looks good. I really like the grip. It has a nice, you know, straight grip angle in the back, not like your PSA Daggers that would be in the same price point as this, that have like the hump on the back. I've owned a few different daggers, I built out a few different daggers, and what I can say is just from the factory, I mean, this gun looks better and it feels a lot better. A lot of the cheaper Glock clones, let's just say the tolerances are not as tight as the actual Glock. They're really loose, the springs are really noisy and things like that. But this gun actually feels like it is made with some quality. The slide, the fit and finish feels really nice. There's no super crazy spring noise like you get with the PSA Dagger. You get a better trigger than the PSA Dagger by a long shot. I mean, the PSA Dagger stock trigger is absolutely terrible. So you get a better trigger, you get like a flat faced, almost looks like a Glock aftermarket trigger. And you know, from what I can tell, just dry firing it, I mean, it seems pretty crisp. But we'll get into all of that whenever we do the actual shooting. So today, guys, we're just gonna run it through its paces. We're gonna put a whole bunch of rounds through it. We're gonna do some self-defense drills, things like that, and just kind of go over the feature set. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, real quick, before we get into all the fun stuff, the nitty-gritty with the firearm, I do want to do a shameless shout out real quick. We've got a lot of momentum on the channel. I appreciate all you new guys who are coming and supporting the channel, leaving positive comments on the last few videos. Welcome to the channel. You are now a Crusader. You're part of the Crusader Army, so welcome. But I do want to just do a shout out real quick. We are going to be dropping a clothing brand. So if you are a Christian and you consider yourself a warrior of God and you want to wear that on your back when you go to the range, go to the gym, maybe you're looking for some tactical style Christian clothing, that's the market that we want to hit. We have not dropped it yet, but please stay tuned to the channel, because sometime here very soon we're going to drop some designs for our shirts and they'll be available for you guys to order and support us. YouTube does not like gun content. So in order for us to keep ramping this up, getting better in production quality and things like that, if you want to support us, please buy a t-shirt. That way you have something really cool to wear and you're supporting your favorite gun YouTuber, Crusader Armory. Probably not. We're probably not your favorite, but we'll get there. We're trying. Here's one of the shirts. Here's one of the designs. This is the God Soldier design. You see you have a little emblem here that says God Soldier. This does have a little guy on it with a set of night vision goggles. And then on the back, you have the Matthew's Bible verse, beware of wolves in sheep's clothing, essentially, you know, referring to the Bible verse. And you got the guy with the AR-15, and you got a wolf, you know, staring eye to eye with the soldier. Warrior of God on the sleeve. If you're interested in things like this, please stay tuned. drop a like, comment, and make sure you're following the channel so you know when we drop these shirts. Alright guys, just going over what's in the box here with the Ruger RXM. I think one of the most impressive things is that this basically comes with like a Pelican style case for this gun, and as you can see, these are only about 390 bucks, you know, give or take, depending on where you're at, depending on what they're selling it for retail at your local gun store. You're gonna get them somewhere around $400, but you get this really cool Pelican style case with the firearm, which I think is a big plus at this price point. A lot of guns even more expensive than this do not come with solid like little Pelican cases like this. So you do get the firearm, you get the Ruger RXM, as we talked about. You know, you have the RXM logo here on the side. You got some nice slide serrations. That way you can do your press checks or whatever you want to do. You do have an optics cut mount, and I think one of the most important things to mention about this optics cut mount is that you can fit any one of the 3 different types of red dots on this. So whether you want, you know, your RMSC or your RMR or your, you know, Leopold, you can fit these on this gun. There's multiple screw slots in here for you to be able to mount any optic you want to, which I think is a huge plus. Definitely a benefit over a Glock 19 Gen 3, especially if you're not getting an MOS model, right? Or, you know, you'll have to take your slide out to get it cut or whatnot, and that's a lot of extra money. If you're gonna get one used, I would say a Glock 19 Gen 3 at a pawn shop's probably gonna go somewhere around $450 to $500. So that's a huge addition. Under $400, you get the optics cut. Another thing to mention here is you do get a tritium front sight. That is another thing that is huge at the under $400 price point, is a tritium front sight. Like I said, I've had a few different daggers, and I think that's what kind of competes in this price point with this gun. And just first impressions, this seems like it is a giant upgrade over something like a PSA Dagger. I think the only thing that the PSA Dagger has that this doesn't is you can get an option with a threaded barrel. But I don't know if Glock 19 parts will fit just, you know, in here like Gen 3 parts. You can just slide a new barrel or whatnot in there, but I'm sure if it's the same system that, you know, it's possible. And even if it's not, you know, Ruger will probably come out with some threaded barrels later on, because I'm sure this is going to be a platform that people modify very heavily. So you do get 2 mags with a gun. You get P mags. Like I said, this is a collaboration between Ruger and Magpul, so that's why you get the P mags. I'm not the biggest fan of the P mags. I've used them. I've never had them malfunction, but what I can tell you is that these, compared to something like a Glock mag, you know, a Glock mag is going to have that metal insert, which prevents these from bulging whenever you load them, when you fully load them, so they slide in the gun a lot easier. However, I've never really had any malfunctions with P mags, but just being in the forums online with the Dagger community and things like that, I have seen people have more failures out of P mags than something like a Glock mag. But the good thing about this is you can go to the store, and for your carry mag, you can buy 1 or 2 Glock mags, and you can run them in this gun. You do get your paperwork and things like that in here, your manuals, all that safety stuff. So, you know, basically telling you not to shoot your dog's eye out. So, you know, you definitely need to read that if you're a new shooter. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good package. So enough with the box and what comes in the box. Let's go ahead and get to the exciting part, which is the shooting. We're going to test the accuracy here at about 5 yards. We actually did walk this out and marked it, so we know exactly what the distance is. And I'm just going to test the feel of the gun and kind of just the accuracy and, you know, iron sights and things like that. So let's get to shooting. I'm going to take 5 shots center mass here, or maybe I'll put 3 in the body and 2 in the head. Firearm. All right, it looks like I pulled 1 in the head. You got the 3 here, 1, 2, 3. It's a pretty good group. Just firing it off, and then we pulled the 1 a little bit low left. Guys, again, notoriously low left. All right, I needed to keep working on it. I've done this my whole entire life. I just pull the trigger too much sometimes. I'm too strong. My fingers have biceps. All right, it's from all the weightlifting, so cut me some slack. But all right, cool. Let's step back a little bit and take another 5-shot group. Just, you know, taking those first few shots, what I will say about the gun is a lot of what I see in a lot of the cheaper, like Glock 19 clones, is that the polymer that's used in the grip is just not up to par what is used in the Glock. And what I mean by that is sometimes with these Glock 19 clones, or just Glock clones in general, you'll feel a lot of the recoil inside of the grip here. Like you can feel the actual vibration in the grip because the plastic's so thin. What I'll say about this Magpul grip is one, the stippling is much better than something like the PSA Dagger for sure, and you don't feel any of it in the grip. So the amount of plastic used in this grip is actually perfect. I mean, it feels very, very smooth when you shoot this. It's very, very comfortable. Just touching on the trigger a little bit, what I will say is it is a Gen 3 trigger. It's not a bad trigger at all, don't get me wrong. For a carry gun, it's probably perfect. However, what I will say is that the wall is not super predictable. You get a lot of mush on that wall, so you kind of have to train and learn exactly where that wall is. So it's going to take a little bit of extra training, because it's not super stiff. It's a little bit mushy when you start to hit the wall. But I mean, overall, I mean, if that's my only gripe throughout this whole video, that's not bad at all. And like I said, the trigger is much better than a Gen 3 like Glock 19 trigger. It's just it still has that same like mush when you hit the wall. But I would say it's better than a Gen 3 Glock 19 trigger, but I don't know if it's better than like a Gen 5 Glock Performance trigger, but it's pretty damn close. 5-shot group, 7 yards at the target. Let's see how we do. Oh, we put one dead center that time. It's a really good shooting gun, even for the iron sights. I don't usually do too well with iron sights, I mainly train with red dots nowadays, just to be honest with you guys. But it doesn't do too bad. I mean, it looks like we put 2 right there in the middle. That's 2 different shots right there in the center. I mean, that's great. You know, obviously we have some here, and here was my headshot. Right here, it was a little bit low. But, I mean, that's not bad at all. I mean, if you were in Minecraft, this is dead. I mean, I'm honestly impressed. This shoots a lot better than a Dagger. Like, just straight out the box, I mean, this is shitting on the Dagger. I mean, it's been a long time since I shot a Gen 3 Glock 19, so it's very hard for me to compare it to that, because it's just been a long time, to be transparent with you guys. But I mean, it feels very, very smooth. If you want to trick something like this out and they add like a threaded barrel, and you can put a threaded barrel in this thing and put like a comp on it, a red dot, like, you know, this is a pretty good performing gun for $400. So I mean, this might be a Glock killer. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see what Glock has. I heard they're coming out with a new Gen 6. Apparently, I don't know when that's going to drop, but you know, the thing about the Glock is the Glock has been the same for a very, very long time. I would say the Gen 5 definitely had some upgrades to it. I think the trigger was one of the biggest upgrades. You could definitely tell a difference between like the Gen 5 performance trigger and like the Gen 3 trigger. There's definitely less mush and the wall is a little bit stiffer. Also, the Gen 5s, they did add the serrations to the slide, which I think was a good addition. But you know, I mean, this has all those things as well. It has a better trigger than a Gen 3 Glock 19. It has the slide serrations. They might not be as aggressive as the new Glock, but they work. They work. No complaints. So, all right, let's step it back a little bit more, and then let's do some drills with this gun, and I'll just, you know, give you guys the real opinion on this. All right, we're going to take some shots. We're probably about like 15-ish yards here. We're going to take a shot at our second target and see how we do. But so far, so good. We haven't had any malfunctions. How many rounds do you have to this gun so
I had
far?
150 through it.
How many?
150.
150 rounds?
No malfunctions whatsoever.
Okay, we'll probably put another 80 to 100 through it today. I don't even think we've oiled it or anything, right? Yeah, let's see if it chokes up. I highly doubt it though. The Gen 3 platform is just proven. I mean, even with my Dagger, I know some people with the Dagger, you know, have issues or whatnot. I never had an issue out of mine. So mine was always reliable. I do know that one of the issues that you see in a lot of the Gen 3 clones and the Gen 3 Glocks is the ejection pattern. I know that's one of the big issues that you see in a lot of the Daggers and things like that, is with the ejection coming back and hitting you in the face. This gun doesn't have that problem, so there's a problem solved right there. But I guess hindsight is 20/20, right? Glock made the platform so that way everybody else could then take the patent and improve on it for much cheaper, right? But it wouldn't be possible without Glock. So Glock fanboys, don't hate. I like Glock too, all right? I like Glock as a company, but this is a really good value. You really can't beat it. So seems like a pretty good group, but looks like I'm shooting a little bit low left. The notorious low and left, that's what you guys can call me. Not a bad group for 15 yards. I could definitely tighten it up. This is my first time shooting a handgun. I could definitely tighten that up. We pulled one, but that's still not bad at all. Let's do one more at 25, just for shits and giggles, and we'll take a few shots at the gong as well. All right, let's try it, see what happens. I'm gonna really try to focus on that wall control. kind of almost double fired there. To that wall. I mean, guys, look, that trigger's light. That second shot that went off, that was just from me like holding the wall. So the trigger's pretty light on this thing, I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, the wall is kind of unpredictable. So with that being said, like, you know, I'm trying to find it, and sometimes, you know, you get that little double fire. But let's see how we grouped. Obviously, it's like the further back we get, the more low left I go. But we hit the target at 25 with iron sights. It's not too bad. Like, I got 3 right here. Or no, one was 1, 2, 3. I don't even know where the other 2 went. Oh, looks like we hit the wood. Look, guys, I'm not good at iron sights at 25, but at least we got some on the paper. That's all that matters. But yeah, if I had a red dot on this thing, you know, the holds and things would be a lot different, and it'd be a little bit more accurate. But oh well, I'm not a great shooter with iron sights at 25 yards. No excuses, not making excuses. I just need to train more. All right, let's get into doing the drills. Swinging. Oh, I missed the third one, but it was swinging. So.
Shooter ready. Stand by. Beep.
Ah, just missed it. That gong is kind of hard to hit with this gun. So for this one, looks like these 2 right here.
The 2 at top for sure.
Yeah,
7.
these.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's one right there.
Yeah, that one for sure.
That one, and then I think one of these.
Yeah.
Is this new?
I think so. It looks like you put.
Yeah, this one and maybe that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're still in here in this area. All right, let's keep running it.
Shooter ready. Stand by. Beep.
This one, it looks like. Is that it? That was my headshot.
Yeah.
Wow, like I'm shooting way left with this. I need to get a better grip on the gun. And then it looks like I put one down here. Headshot, I did the same thing here. I threw left. And then, oh, is this new?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm shooting low left with this gun. I don't know. Maybe I just need some more practice with this trigger.
Shooter ready. Stand by. Beep.
I guess I only had 4 loaded that time. What the fuck?
Looks like you put 1.
Yeah, I put 2 down here, and then my headshot was still low. It was like exact same placement. I don't know, that's weird.
Got a new one in the head.
Yeah, I got a new one in the head right there. So that shot was better. And then I think that was the only shot I took at this one.
Mm-hmm.
I accidentally loaded 4, should have counted 5.
Shooter ready. Stand by. Beep.
I wonder if I pulled that headshot the same exact way. I mean, I got it a little bit closer, but still pulling low left.
So one of them, for sure, is like the one right below the 10.
Okay, and then and then one's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep pulling one.
Those are going to be right there below the 9.
Yep,
right there.
I see that. Yep, got a nice little grouping right there. And I think that one's new too. All right, it's not bad. Not bad. We're getting a little bit better, guys. I mean, I would say like the gun shoots really well for what it is. I train a lot with red dots. So, you know, quick target acquisition. I'm probably going a little bit too quick. I need to slow it down, this being a new gun to me. The trigger's not bad at all, guys. I just, Glock, especially Gen 3 triggers, I don't like the wall on them. Because it's kind of mushy when you hit the wall, so you're kind of just looking for it. Sometimes it surprises you, and then sometimes you got to pull a little bit more. But it's not a bad trigger at all, and this is perfect for carry. I'm not making excuses here. I don't shoot Glocks very often. I'm a SIG guy. I like SIGs. I like my 365s. I'm not the 320, so calm down. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think that this gun is performing very well. We haven't had any malfunctions, and I mean, the fact that you get a tritium sight, you get a 2 magazines. The Magpul grip frame actually feels really good. I like that. I mean, it's kind of crazy what you get for the price. Also, to add to that, you get suppressor height night sights, right? So these are suppressor height, so whenever you do mount an optic on here, you'll still be able to co-witness your iron sights, which is a big deal as well, because the ones that come on the PSA Dagger, for example, are just your standard low cut sights. For $390, I think it's a very good deal, very good bargain, especially if you're looking for a carry gun and you're looking at something like a Taurus G3 or a Taurus G2C or whatever you're looking at. I mean, those guns don't shoot anywhere close to this gun. I mean, this resembles a Glock 19 very closely for, you know, a fraction of the cost. So if you compare this to something like a Taurus, I mean, this is blowing a Taurus out of the water. So you guys out there who have Tauruses, you have no excuse anymore to have a Taurus. There is this on the market. So go sell your Taurus and get this, or pick this up if all you have is a Taurus, because I've shot those guns. They flip a lot more. They're a lot less ergonomic and a lot less modular than something like this. So I think this is going to change the market for under $400. Let's see if this training is paying off, right? I feel like we've done a little bit poorly with this. I won't blame it on the gun. I just haven't shot Glocks like that in a while.
Shooter ready, stand by, beep. Bullseye.
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 Money. Getting better. We're getting a little bit better. All right.
Getting better.
Practice makes perfect. Especially when you get a new gun, guys. You need to make sure if you get a new gun, you need to put more than one mag through it. You need to fill the gun out. You know, identify its weaknesses and its strengths. And, you know, not every gun is going to be, you know, suitable for you. Everybody has their little quirks and things when they shoot. So you have to know how to, you know, mitigate and train through that. So these, it looks like I put 2 there. Mm-hmm. Right there, maybe that third one right there. That was pretty close, pretty good.
That one went.
And then here we got another one in the bullseye.
I think you put 2.
Yeah, it looks like we even put 2 in the bullseye. So all I did was adjust my hold a little bit, and that made a big difference. Maybe it's the grip frame. I don't know, like the grip angle. I'm not sure. I'm trying to find a reason to just say it's the gun. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying not to blame it on myself. Yeah, I don't know, but all right, cool. Let's keep running.
Shooter ready, stand by, beep.
Looks like we put some shots right here, maybe multiple.
Looks like, yeah.
Or even maybe added right there. We're definitely a lot closer now, so that's good to center mass. Put another one right here, it looks like.
Then you hit 5.
5 right here?
Yep.
All right.
Shooter ready, stand by, beep.
Seven?
Mm-hmm.
Is that where he hit?
Think
maybe
so.
there. Is my muscle memory working the correct way? Is that 7?
That is 7.
I think that's where we hit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 7. And then here, looks like we might have hit the 7 again, or that might have already been there. It doesn't look like we pulled any new ones. I think all of these were here.
I think the 7 one you pointed out.
7.
Looks like maybe the ones above the 10. One of them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, but it looks like a big gaping hole now, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Look, whoever recommended me taking a marker and marking them, trust me, I'm going to do that. I just keep forgetting the marker at home, all right? And I got to drive all the way to the range out here, then, you know, drive all the way back. But we will have a marker in the next one to mark our shots. Stick that in there. All right, we're clear. All right, guys, so just to close this out, we can take a look at the targets here. I definitely was pulling a little bit low left on my shots, and, you know, just getting used to the gun and the trigger, but we were able to stabilize it just a little bit on both targets near the end. So overall, what I can say about the gun is it performs very, very well. Like, as far as like recoil goes, it doesn't feel super snappy or anything like that. With the grip, like I said, in some of the other Glock clones, you'll notice that they use a very thin polymer in the grip, and then you can feel a lot of that recoil in the palm of your hand. And I will say with this Magpul grip does a very good job of absorbing some of that recoil from the firearm. So definitely a plus. I definitely like the Magpul grip. I like the stippling on it. Definitely better than something like a PSA Dagger. In the price range that this gun falls in, I think it's very, very hard to beat. You're getting basically an upgraded Glock 19 Gen 3. You got a better trigger, a lighter trigger. It's a lot lighter than the Gen 3. It still has a little bit of mush to it, but I'm not complaining. It's a carry gun. You don't need a super light trigger on a carry gun, so you just got to train with it and get good with it. And for my first time shooting out here, I mean, this isn't terrible. We definitely pulled some shots, but we'll get better over time. We'll bring this gun back out to the range and train with it a little bit more and get a little bit better with it. This also does have the suppressor height iron sights, so you know that's a big plus from the factory. Fit and finish of the gun feels really good. You know, it's very smooth. You got the slide serrations. I mean, this is very, very hard to beat. So I hope whatever gun that Glock comes out with next is, you know, is an upgrade over what they have been releasing. Has some new features to it, because with all these Gen 3 clones coming out, it's going to be hard competition if they release a Gen 6 and it's basically the same thing as a Gen 5. It's going to be hard to justify that extra cost, around $650, over something like the Ruger RXM. So far, it's been pretty reliable. We put about 100 rounds to it out here today, you know, on and off camera. And yeah, I mean, it performs well. That's all I can say. It's reliable. It performs like a Glock. You get some upgrades over a Gen 3, and for $400, I think this may be the absolute best option you can get under $400, especially when you compare it to something like a Taurus G3 or G2C or something like that. This is night and day difference over something like that, in my opinion. Don't get mad. It's just the truth. If you guys go out and shoot it, then you'll see that for yourself. Overall, guys, you know, I think I could have done a little bit better out here, but for my first time shooting the gun, not too disappointed in it. We got some tight groupings right here, center mass, so that's not bad at all for a handgun, especially considering a lot of these came from the 25-yard mark. And at 25 yards with a handgun with iron sights, it's very hard to, you know, even get a shot on paper a lot of times if you don't train regularly with iron sights at 25 yards. Me personally, for a gun that I'm shooting 25 yards with on a handgun, I want to put a red dot on it, and this comes with a red dot mount. So when we get a red dot and things on it, we'll bring it back out here and we will take some distant shots with it and see how well we can group with it. I'm very impressed, guys. I would say if you're looking for a gun under $400, this is probably the best option. So go to your local gun store, maybe take one out to the range, test it, see how you like it if you're looking for a cheap carry gun, and this might be suitable for you. And I believe that these are, I know I said earlier in the video, my cameraman corrected me, I think that these are compatible with Glock 19 parts, aside from the trigger, because the difference in this gun versus a Glock 19 or any of the other Glock 19 clones is that this has a chassis system built in it, almost like the P320, that you can take out and you can put into another frame. So that is a super unique part about this gun compared to some of the other Glock 19 or Glock clones out there. Without further ado, guys, that's going to conclude this video. If you guys do like the video, you like our content, please make sure to drop a like, drop a comment on what you think about the Ruger RXM, and let's talk about it in the comments below. That's all I got for today, guys. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.